robust urban garlic flavor.
Hello everybody, how are you doing at the end of this fall gaming season as we get ready for a chilly long winter? Speaking of the weather, DSP had a flash flood in his area Monday, and as a result, he was worried about his wife Kat, but he wasn't really concerned about the DoorDash delivery driver. He wanted to go get fast food for him. So it's been a very unorthodox week for Phil as he tries to navigate different things. And guess what? He couldn't stream on Wednesday because his internet was down, so Comcast finally got him. Yeah, Phil spent about the entire end of January complaining that Comcast was screwing his business because the internet was going to be down for like 6 weeks. It was gone for like 2 hours. That's how Phil is. So let's see him make a mountain out of this molehill.
Hey everyone, Phil here with an update, but sadly it's not a good one. So it's Wednesday.
Yeah, the phone does not capture Phil in the best light. And you know, I saw part of his studio tour video. I was just clicking through it, and it's very dark in there. The light is all shining on Phil, but everything else is pitch black.
The 17th of December 2025, and I was supposed to have a full streaming day here today on DSP Gaming. My power went out overnight. We had a bad storm. It went out for about 2 hours, and when the power came back on, the internet was out.
And now Phil can't demand $300 from you today, so he's going to demand $600 from you tomorrow. Don't you get it? Phil thinks he's like a church or something, and his like weekly sermon got canceled, so he has to let everybody know it's happening next week. He's very old-fashioned and stuck in his rut.
And my ISP is Comcast. Well, for the past 3 hours, been trying to get updates from Comcast on when the internet will be back, and they're not giving any.
Phil, there was flooding in your area. It was pretty serious. Getting the internet up isn't exactly priority number one. Power is more important in the first place, Phil. You know, the funny thing is recently when he was complaining about Comcast, somebody set up like 2 service appointments for him, and the guy who came told him, hey, you didn't even need this appointment, but he got rid of a lot of stuff that Phil didn't need. One of the things Phil actually had was something that would keep the internet on when the internet was off, like if he had to run like services that were through the internet, like cash registers and things like that. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he was ranting about that like 3 years ago, so I just watched a clip on that recently.
You go to the service outage map, and either it says we're working on it, or it actually crashes because so many people don't have internet that they keep trying to refresh it, and the whole site goes down.
And you know, Phil demands to be the first person to have his power restored because he's like, I'm running a business. I need it right now. Otherwise, I won't get any money. Even though you know he will use this to his advantage against $600 the next day regardless.
I tried to sign up for text message updates, and their service crashes and says, does not work. Try again later.
Aw, man, you should have signed up for those annoying text messages before the catastrophe, man. Don't you watch the weather report?
So I can't get any answers. The last time that Comcast's internet went out like this was earlier in the year, and it took them until around roughly 7 to 8 p.m. to get it back up and running.
Here's Robust from the future. Everything was fine. Phil was able to stream the next day. But you know he's gonna whine and complain about it forever. One day Comcast couldn't give me my internet. I'm going to sue them.
So I would assume it's probably going to be about the same this time. Now, I could be wrong, but at the same time, I can't just sit around and do nothing all day. I really don't have anything to...
He claims to be such a busy man, yet when his internet goes down, he suddenly has nothing else to do. Don't you have errands, Phil? Don't you have some WWE champions to play? Don't you have your wife to talk to? What else could you be doing? If it's not raining or flooding, you could go for a walk in the park. How about that? Maybe you could go on a day trip to Seattle. Just throwing ideas out there.
In fact, it's funny. All these updates that I've done to my set and studio over the last couple of weeks, I've pretty much nailed down everything that I wanted to do. I rewired the whole set. Like, there's really nothing else to update here.
Yeah, he did practically everything on stream, demanded his stream chat handhold him throughout the entire process, and then demanded a ton of money on top of that. Oh, and I should mention that his audience, fueled by Asmongold Dent tourists coming in, paid for those improvements. Because he claimed he didn't have the money to do much of those improvements at all before that interview.
So because of that, I don't really have anything to do to sit around with no internet. In fact, just to show you, some of my stuff, like my frame, doesn't even work right now because it connects to my network and needs to have like a proper connection, and it won't even work right now. So
yeah, we get it, Phil. Since a lot of the stuff we have is online only, if a power grid shuts down, we are screwed. Ain't no generator helping you then.
I'm kind of stuck with nothing to do.
Here's the guy that says he's always busy, folks. He's just dying for a wing stream to come on so we can go and ask him a million times to come on his podcast again.
I talked to my wife, hey, what should we do?
Yeah, he had another slip earlier on Monday that people picked up, and they're like, is Cat gone? We'll talk about that later.
So maybe I could tweak my mic for a little bit, but for the most part, I think I'm just going to end up probably having a day off and going out and trying to do stuff around here.
Oh no, Phil has to move his day off to another day. Here's the panic because he fears that the day he already has as his day off, Saturday, will suddenly become a day where his fans won't come and support because he always takes those days off for the most part.
Here, which again might be hit or miss because we had flooding and storms all week. There may be businesses closed. There may be roads shut down. I don't know.
I mean, your phone is able to have access to something. Have you looked at a weather report at all?
But I guess anything's better than just sitting around the house with no internet and nothing to do. So
apparently hanging out with Jasper Kitty, his son, all day long, he's a bit tiresome.
sadly, that means all of today's streams are off. You know, I was going to do a podcast outlining my whole new setup, giving you a studio tour.
Instead, he was so bored, he filmed a 30-minute studio tour where you see how dank and dismal his streaming room is. I would not like looking into darkness hours upon hours upon hours.
I was going to talk about the new Fallout TV show, which I saw episode 1, which was great, and I wanted to give my commentary on that.
By commentary, you know he's just going to give you a bloated summary of the episode. Let me tell you, that's pretty much standard for YouTubers, but with Phil, you know it'll be 20 minutes of I'm just talking about what happened instead of my thoughts on them.
We were going to do more Pokemon. We were going to do Power Wash Simulator 2 tonight. Can't do any of that until the internet's back. All right, so
please send me a PayPal tip if you haven't already, or double your contribution tomorrow, because if I don't make any money today, I may not be able to afford groceries later or some other nonsense like that.
I'll try to stay on top of it and let you know if and when the internet comes back. I don't know how I'm even going to know because I couldn't sign up for the text message updates. I guess I could just try to keep checking the service map all day and see if it updates, but
oh, you know he'll be on his phone in between WWE Candy Crush sessions. He will be looking at his service map to see if his internet came back on. So, you know, he'll be checking every 5 minutes.
for the most part, I'm kind of on my own. And
What about Kat, Phil? Isn't she going to go run errands with you? You're on your own. You're by yourself. Is Kat in the Snort Fort, Phil? Or is she living downstream?
I'll probably be out for most of the day. Everyone fingers crossed that Comcast gets on the ball here, gets the internet back up.
Because otherwise, I'm going to be starting to demand that you put super thanks on every single one of these stupid shorts I make.
I'd like to stream a late stream tonight, but likely it's not going to happen. Likely I'll see you all tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I really need that night stream to happen because I'm hoping that I'll hit 4 goals in one stream and get $600 out of pity for not being able to stream because my internet was out.
I'll keep you updated when I can. Everyone, sorry about that, and I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Because otherwise I will freak out and have absolutely no idea what to do because I really need to have constant contact with my whales because I believe if I leave them alone for an extended period of time, they will stop giving me money.
Now would be a good time to remind everyone, if you're having a good time, please engage with the content. If you're watching here on stream, be sure to like the stream. Thanks for all the chat and interaction. The engagement's been great. If you're watching on demand on YouTube, please consider liking the video, leaving some comments for engagement. I really appreciate those who have. You guys have been awesome recently. You've helped the channel tremendously. Oh, I don't do a podcast either? Then what's that thing that all my trolls complain about that I do in the morning before I stream? And they all say, oh, where's the game? Where's the game? Why are you doing this podcast? I don't do a podcast, huh? So, all right, let's get to shout-outs. There's nothing to shout out. Come on. That was the cue. Come on. That was the cue. Do I really need to spell it out for you? Come on. Oh, man. You're not funny since I miss the extended family gatherings too, but I was the youngest and my cousins all picked on me. For me, I was the only boy. I had all female cousins, 4 of them. So whenever there was a family gathering, it was all the cousins, you know, doing girly, and I was the odd boy out. This is great. We know you fake your tips, gifted a sub. You know I fake my tips. Okay, where's your evidence? Please present your evidence right now. A troll did a super chat and says faking tips to own trolls is a new low for you. So here's the hilarious part about this, right? For the greater part of what? 3 years, 2-3 years, tips come through manually and I shout them out. You have no clue if a single tip that has ever come through and I've shouted out has ever been real. You have absolutely no concept. There's entire people who have tipped and they might not be real. 1 Minute Man may have never existed. You ever think about that? So what you're saying is so nonsensically dumb. You have no clue if anything a tips is ever right. So that's one of these hilarious people that try to say, oh, I know Phil's income and like that. You don't know anything. You literally know nothing at all. You're just a moron who tries to live in this world where you think you have all this knowledge and control. You know nothing. In truth, you know as much as I want you to know about anything. And maybe a lot of it's misinformation to throw people off so they don't do, you know what I'm saying? So in truth, you'll never know. It's none of your business. So and thanks for the super chat, you stupid troll. There you go.
Yep, Phil is just throwing things out there to mislead his audience. What a robust concept. I'm sure his fans will love that, especially with the gaslighting to get his fans to fork over their hard-earned cash so he can waste it on WWE champions.
Besides Wings, is there any other internet persona you'd like to interview? Yes, but they're never going to let me interview them. It's like I said, last year, I started reaching out and contacting a bunch of people. Some people were like internet personas. Some people were like people from various different gaming communities.
He did that because it was during his resurgence of the Kino arc, and he thought everybody wanted to talk to him now.
Other community commentary communities. I had at least 3 different people who were incredibly interested in doing content with me. And then when they researched the situation, because, you know, they knew who I was, but they weren't familiar with my situation per se. Then they would all look into it, and then they come back. When I get time to try to schedule them, it would be like, no, you know, on second thought, I looked into it, and you're really one of the most harassed people on the internet with the amount of trolling you get. We found out about Kiwi farms, and we found out about these idiots who have entire channels dedicated to you. And the last thing that we need is to be in that content.
But there are plenty of people that are interested in talking to you, Phil. You just don't want to open up to them because you know that's a whole can of worms.
We don't need that negative association. It's not you because you're not making that content. But the fact that people are doing that every day with anything you're involved in, you know, we can't be involved in it.
Potentially, yeah. Some people think, hey, we might be harassed if we go to this guy, and then suddenly we say, oh, I want to hang out with him. He's cool. But, you know, more likely they realize, hey, we don't want to deal with Phil because he's Phil.
So because of that, they all backed out. I had people from various. I had one. It would have been a fascinating interview. This one interview about the history of a certain gaming community and stuff like that. It would have been absolutely amazing.
It would have been really boring.
And then I had another one where it was something you never would have suspected. It was something completely out of left field, but it actually, I think, would have been fascinating content. Okay? Well, complete nonsense. The thing is, I'm never going to tell you what it is because if I do, people will go harass those people. So I'm never going to tell you what it is. I'm going to always keep it a secret. But it just sucks because I did the work. I put in the time.
Oh, you put in a lot of time for a lot of things, Phil, but here's the reality. Sometimes, despite all your efforts, it won't bear fruit.
I was up some nights. I was writing 100 messages a night to different people, feelers, going out there. I was talking to PR groups, you know, and none of it came to anything. I worked my butt off for several months there trying to get done, and I couldn't lock anything in because of my troll.
Well, then maybe you should stop feeding the trolls. And on that note, I'd like to add this clip that probably explains why he was sending 100 messages to people each night. He was probably sending 20 unanswered messages to people.
How do I feel about Wings apologizing to me on his stream? I didn't know that he did that.
I see your boy DSP talking some shit about me.
I didn't, you know, I have been working all day.
Yeah, banned from the Level 1 podcast.
So if he apologized to me on his stream, that's news to me. I guess I'll have to look into it.
Go, hey, Spaceman, would you be on my podcast? And Spaceman says nothing. I'm going to automatically assume Spaceman doesn't want to be on the podcast this week. I'm not going to sit there and ask him 16 times.
I would like to see that and see what he actually said.
I like talking to Phil. I think he's a cool person. And it is what it is.
I like how Wings is so much more vibrant than DSP. I need to put more energy into these things, but right now I'm gonna get some rest because I've been out of it, not feeling that great. All right, everybody, see you all some other time. This is Robust turning off the station. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out.